Hi, my name's Naudia, and I'm going to be sharing how travel has inspired me. But first, a little bit of background about myself and why I began travelling in the first place. So, I'm half Finnish and half Jamaican, and grew up mostly in and around London. But I was also lucky enough to spend a lot of my summers in Finland with family in a summer cottage by the lake, which had beautiful outdoor nature. So, yeah, a really great way to spend your summers. And growing up, I really valued my time, even though I had limited freedom in the sense that most teenagers do. I felt like when I did have time, it was doing things on my own terms and doing things that I really cared about and that mattered to me. And that definitely continued through to uni. And when I left uni to start my first proper job in London, I thought I'd be reaching that kind of final point of adulthood and getting unlimited freedom. But fast forward a few years, and I was most definitely stuck in the rat race, doing crazy hours, living for the weekend, and just not having time for the things that really mattered. I did think about starting my own business and I guess other ways that I could try and get back a little bit of control, but it's really hard kind of knowing where to begin, and I just felt stuck but knew I needed something to change. Then one summer, having a long chat with a few friends, we got talking about travel, and travel had always been something that I wanted to do one day, but just didn't have a plan on when and how, and nothing kind of in place to get that going. And I had quite a few friends who had already done the whole backpacking thing, and they'd done it before their careers, so I think part of me felt like I might have missed the boat a little bit. And I guess on top of that, I was worried about the reality of travel, so whether the reality of bugs and hostels would really be for me and how I'd, I guess, cope with that. But I knew I needed change at this point, and looking back, this was definitely kind of a pivotal moment in my life and definitely the best decision I ever made, which was quitting my job and booking a trip to Southeast Asia. As with most people who travel, I absolutely fell in love with the nomadic lifestyle, experiencing new places and connecting with locals and travellers. It was just the most amazing way to experience new things. It also gave me time to just be still, to connect with myself and the world, and this was definitely something I needed at the time. In terms of highlights, Myanmar was definitely one. I think I was just so taken back by the generosity and kindness of the people. Even the incredible pagodas and different sites that we saw honestly came second to the people, which is definitely saying something. As for the worries I'd had, hostels for the most part were great. They quickly became a home away from home and a place where I met some of the most interesting people that I'll always remember. Bugs were the only thing that I really did struggle with. I'd come prepared, of course. I had sprays and a repellent sleeping bag liner, but regardless of that, mosquitoes in particular just loved me. I was in Vietnam when my bites turned into hives, which is an allergic reaction covering me head to toe in red itchy patches. So yeah, it was not great, and at the time it was really quite worrying. I didn't really know what I hadn't had hives before, so I was a bit, I guess, worried on what was happening and frustrated, and it's never nice having something like that happen to you in a foreign place and not quite knowing what to do about it and whether it's serious or not. And then on top of that, when I was in Laos, I reacted badly to my anti-malarials, which meant I had to stop taking them and be extra careful with trying to not get bitten in the first place. So on top of the stress of hives, I was also thinking, oh God, please let me not get malaria too. And it was there in Laos when I was really ill and not sleeping from struggling to fit into my very restrictive repellent sleeping bag liner, which if anyone's ever slept in one, you'll know it's so uncomfortable. And I started thinking, wouldn't it be so much better to just sleep in something that actually fitted to your body and was really comfortable, but also kept the bugs away? And this idea kept coming back to me for the rest of the trip, and I kind of made a mental note to revisit it later, which I will come back onto later in this story. So it wasn't until I came back home that I realised how much travel had changed me. I'd of course experienced and seen so much, and definitely had a new perspective on things. But I guess when I was reflecting on that, I also started to realise that the thing, or I guess the core that I really loved about travel, was that sense of freedom that it gave me. And I guess in terms of what I mean by that is waking up and knowing that anything can happen, and kind of going headfirst into the adventure, having the freedom to do what you truly want to do each day and live life more in the moment, really tuning into that present time. And I knew I'd be living my life differently from this point, that I'd be holding on to that sense of freedom as much as possible. And for me, that meant switching to freelancing. So freelancing gave me back a little bit of control as to when and how I'd work. It also gave me the time to start exploring my idea for what I now call anti-insect sleepwear, which would have of course come in very handy in Laos. And it was that journey of exploring the idea and also getting much more involved in the travel community that led me to launch We Drifters. And We Drifters it's for those of us who want to wander and want to keep drifting, whether it's travel or something else that you love to do. And my hope is for We Drifters to become a community that inspires more people to travel, and also makes it easier for people to travel as part of their life. And I'm keen to connect with travellers who share that belief and are on their own mission to be free to travel and live life on their own terms. I've also finally developed the anti-insect sleepwear, which now is a pyjama set, including a long sleeve top, trousers, socks and a pillowcase. And the pillowcase also converts into a very compact storage bag, so everything fits in very snug, and can be taken with whatever else you're travelling with. And all the items are made from a soft, lightweight bamboo fabric and treated with anti-insect technology, which is what keeps the bugs away. But more importantly, what the product gives me, and I'm hoping other travellers, is peace of mind when you're sleeping on your travels, and one less thing to worry about, and hopefully one less barrier to travel, which ultimately I'd hope might empower more people to travel. So for me, travel most definitely inspired my startup and also gave me back my sense of freedom, which I'm so grateful for and really hope that everyone can experience. I hope that more people travel and more people start living their own way, start living life on their own terms, and I guess being more mindful of what their purpose is in life, and following that, whatever it might be. So yeah, I guess that's my story and how travel has inspired me. Thank you so much for listening, and do get in touch if you want to know more about me or We Drifters and our anti-insect sleepwear. Thanks again, and happy travels.